Dog, it's a Martinsville Thursday here on NASCAR Inside the Playoffs. Also a spooky Halloween edition. Let's get you caught up on all the headlines. Tyler Reddick punched his ticket to the Championship 4 after an incredible last lap. Could his airness find himself ready to raise a trophy in Phoenix? Plus, it is Halloween. 6 drivers find themselves living in fear. We're going to break down if drivers should look for a trick or a treat in order to advance at Martinsville. And Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson are here. We're going to ask 2 of the greatest drivers ever what to expect with 2 races to go. Buckle in. It's NASCAR Inside the Playoffs. We're just going to go ahead and give you $1 for every Halloween reference that we make in the show today. Hi, everybody.
When we say we, she means she.
What is this?
Me.
Spooky?
Spooky. I'm Shannon Spake. We got Daytona 500 winning crew chief Steve Letarte, NASCAR insider Mamba Smith. Kyle Larson is going to join us in just a few, but back with us again, 2-time Cup Series champion Kyle Busch. We knew that the round of 8 was going to get spooky, scary for some drivers, and it certainly lived up to the hype.
It certainly did. I mean, man, I can't tell you how much things changed each and every lap, minute, time around the racetrack for a lot of these guys. And so you've always got to be on top of your toes. You never really know what to expect, and we certainly saw a lot of that.
Miami was the playoff race I was waiting for.
Yeah.
I looked out the window, and 1 through 7 playoff drivers,
Yes.
right? We talked about the chaos of round 1 and the different tracks and all of those things. Logano had 1, so he was kind of in the back, riding around or doing whatever he was doing. But the other 7 filled the top 5, 6, 7 all race.
Yeah, I mean, Logano set the tone with how crazy this round is. And then Homestead, it was like, wow, what an amazing race, amazing finish. Guys were spread out top to bottom. And then the pit crews, like the pit crews really had to be on their P's and Q's, and some of them not so much.
It's amazing what these guys just said, how Homestead was an amazing race. It was a great race, top to bottom, good competition, passing.
Well, you got something to say?
I'm going to stop right there. Everybody else can fill in the blank.
Don't look at me. I'm only here so I don't get fined.
I did love what you said, though, because that final restart was wild, because any one of those guys could have won. We had strategy, a last lap move, and a celebration fit for a GOAT. Here's a look back at Miami.
15 laps to go. Tyler Reddick will give up the race lead. We stay under the green flag.
Billy Scott proved he was willing to gamble.
But it may not pay off this time.
Racing for the lead. They touch, and Brown goes Larson. Can he catch it? He cannot.
It's probably best case here. 7 lap shootout, no prisoners.
Hamlin shoves Tyler Reddick to the lead. Blaney has to go to the bottom to play defense.
Here comes Hamlin on his own driver. Hamlin basically scraping the right side of his race car, keeping the lead. Here comes Ryan Blaney. They're side by side. Ryan Blaney takes the lead from Hamlin. 1 lap to go. Now Reddick on the low side. Reddick is on Ryan Blaney's bumper.
Go up outside here, outside.
What a move off 4.
Tyler Reddick just drives all the way around Ryan Blaney.
Hell yeah, let's go to Phoenix, boys! Oh yeah! Yeah, we're in it! Sorry, I don't know.
Tyler Reddick wins in the most incredible way.
Michael Jordan going to the championship for.
Little kid drove his ass off. I'm proud of him.
More Michael Jordan, please. Yes. All right, take a look. This is where the playoff drivers finished. As Steve mentioned, look at the top 6.
Same.
First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. 13th for Kyle Larson. We're going to have him on the show in just a few. Joey Logano already locked in to the Championship 4, so it didn't really matter where he finished.
He took a week off.
Yeah.
Definitely took a week off.
He was giving me company. We were just hanging out.
Yeah, you and Joey hanging out. He was like, just go do your thing. I want to remind you of something that you said. I think it was like last week on the show. Let's listen to a call by Steve Letarte.
I think that there is just as much of a risk if he lifts. So I would much rather have Tyler Reddick show up at Miami thinking that that's the same move he has to make again.
Yeah. Well, did you remember?
Parker over here trying to tell me how Reddick should have been like lifting and avoiding the wreck that he got in at Las Vegas. And I'm a believer that the regular season is one step, even the round of 16, maybe the round of 12. But when you get into the round of 8, it is time to earn your spot. And you earn your spot by taking those runs, taking those moves. The restarts are just absolutely crazy. This wasn't a restart, but that last set of corners. So
you would rather the driver play with the fire than kind of be like, I don't want to.
I hear Kyle Larson. I can't wait to talk to him about this because I hear him talking about I need to wreck less. I'm like, I'll take 6 wins and 6 wrecks over 1 win and no wrecks. Like I like the aggression and go down swinging. You got to drive to whatever your skill set is. I'm a believer. Reddick's is aggression. It was a great move. One of the best moves.
Kyle, let me ask you this: if you adjust how you operate, if you don't make the same moves that you would typically make, and you're outside of how you normally do stuff, does that make you better or worse?
Well, I think it depends on how good you feel like you are. So in the 5 years in which I made it to the Final 4 or 5 in a row, like I played more away from the fire. Like I didn't want to be in that. But Harvick, racing against him in those same years, he was the one that could be a closer. He could go out there, he could be flashy, he could score a win, he could get a win on a walk-off moment when he needed to. But we, on the other hand, just kind of felt like we're good enough, we're strong enough, we're going to finish 6th this week, that's fine, we'll take it. We're going to finish 4th next week, that's fine, we'll take it. We didn't have to be flashy, we didn't need the wins because we felt strong enough that we could get ourselves through with or without. Now, if you're in position to win the race, like I was 2017 Martinsville, I think, push, like there were some highlight reels of me knocking Denny out of the way, or I think I got into it with the 22 and caused a caution. Like, you've got to push when you're that close. So I think that's what we're going to talk to Larson about, right?
Yeah, let's take a look at the move that we are talking about. Let's focus on Tyler Reddick. We'll get into the Ryan Blaney portion of this a little bit later, and the Denny Hamlin.
Which one's Reddick?
They're all there, right there on the top.
So that's 1 and 2. No, Reddick ran the bottom.
Is the black there, the black car right there.
He ran bottom 1 and 2, got to 2nd, and then this move around the top, I thought, referencing the 12 and the 11, the speed the 45 carried into the corner, because that's all really you can, unless you're in the car, you just have to use something else to judge the speed. I thought for sure I was going to see some smoke off the right side, like he cooked it in there and got into the wall.
Right.
And when it stuck and he left, it was a moment. Like we talk about walk-off wins, but I can't really remember a walk-off move. I think this 45, this might sound crazy, but I think the 45 is starting to embody the personality of the owner. From the tires at the Roval and Tyler Reddick driving up to get points, the aggression on top of the pit box, win or lose, I feel like they kind of got a little bit of that, big moment type mentality.
And you're talking about Michael Jordan, who's the co-owner.
Well, it's not the other owner because he hasn't been big moment yet with Denny Hamlin, but Michael Jordan has been all about the big moments.
He definitely has injected his personality and who he is as an athlete into this team. And I think it gives Tyler Reddick a lot of confidence, and you can see their relationship. They're really close, and Michael's like, man, the little kid did it. Like, that's awesome. And the other thing is Blaney lost the lead on the restart to Denny. He puts it on the dash and passes him back, and I'm like, wow, this is one of the best races he ever ran. And then Tyler just throws it out the window and passes him around the top. It was insane.
You might think that it would be more pressure to have Michael Jordan sitting on that pit box, but Billy Scott told me this week that it's actually a calming effect to have him up there. So let's take a look at Tyler Reddick. We told you who Joey Logano was 1 week ago. He, of course, transferred to the Championship 4. Now here's Tyler Reddick. His 5th full Cup season, 8 Cup Series wins, 4 playoff appearances, has never been to the Championship 4, however, and he is a 2-time Xfinity Series champ. And what I thought was crazy, Kyle, is he has had just 2 top 10s in the playoffs so far. So you talk about how crazy the playoffs have been for him.
Oh, no question. Playoffs are crazy. What I look on that stat line, too, is 2018 championship, 2019 championship, Xfinity. Those were 2 separate teams.
Yeah.
Back-to-back with 2 separate teams, 2 separate organizations. But to the Cup Series and to the last, 8 weeks or so, having 2 top 10s, I mean, that's kind of crazy. We saw, Las Vegas and how Las Vegas turned out for them. But he has... Look, he was hired by 23XI because they knew who that type of driver, who that caliber of driver could be. So having the roller coaster playoff run that he has had, I don't think any of those guys were really worried because they knew what they had in Tyler Reddick, and they believe in that guy, and they're going to be able to go out there, and when they can put it all together, upside down or not, they made it to the Final 4.
Hired, they're kind of stolen. He was kind of stolen to 23XI from RCR because he still had 1 year left on that deal when they struck the deal for the next year, and then it turned out that they let him out of his contract and he moved over there early. So they know what they got. They got a dog for sure.
Right.
Yeah, but when you look at 23XI as a whole, this is just their 4th full-time season. And great things that, I mean, how do they hit the ground running? I know they have the support from Toyota and all that stuff, but what's the key?
I think they've found a magical mix of 2 different owners. I said a lot about Michael Jordan and how I think they've embodied kind of what he does on the court, what he's done in his career, what he's known for. But while I picked on Denny because he has to be a race car driver in the playoffs, he can't be owner. He has to do his other job. I think in the offseason, and when I look at the personnel moves that this organization has made, as great as Michael Jordan is, I don't think he knows enough about NASCAR to be the guy, making these decisions. I put that on Denny Hamlin. Whether it is going to get Tyler Reddick in a somewhat controversial way, kind of taking him away from another race team when he had a year left, or some of the crew chiefs we've seen hired, engineering, upper management. I think Denny is putting a lot of the pieces into the puzzle in the right place. I don't think that can be overstated. Kyle's driven at some of the best organizations. Gibbs, Hendrick, Childress. When you look at them, I put it on the owners. I mean, no offense, they've had amazing drivers, but how does someone continue to find the next driver or the next talent? It takes amazing owners. I think Denny's showing us a new hand. We didn't know that he had this kind of executive role within him, but I have to give him the credit.
So one thing to not forget about here, we remember Furniture Row, right?
Yep.
What did Furniture Row have? They had an alliance with JGR.
Yep.
JGR, I believe, is the catalyst to what all happens within Toyota Racing.
Wow.
And so, granted, 23XI has gotten a lot of great people, a lot of really good hires. Eric Phillips,
but you got to have the info.
Dave Rogers, all of that. Those guys all came from JGR as well, too. So, this is JGR version 2, right? But they're all getting cars built and everything from JGR, and then they get to do their little fine tweaks to it, no different than what Cole Pern and those guys did from Furniture Row. So they've got it all figured out. They're working through the system, and obviously they're doing a great job with it.
Furniture Row won a championship with, of course, Martin Truex Jr. with that alliance. Here are the playoff standings. Take a look. You see the ADV. That means they've advanced to the championship 4. Christopher Bell, William Byron just above that cut line with Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, and Chase Elliott below. When we talked about that final lap, though, almost any one of these guys could have won and advanced, including Ryan Blaney. And I think that there's been a lot of discussion about where Ryan was on the racetrack and the move that he made in those closing laps that allowed Tyler to kind of get by. What did you see when you saw that?
Yeah, so, I don't know where Ryan felt like his car was best for the majority of the race. I don't know if he was a wall rider or not. I did not go back and rewatch it. Of course, I was busy with my own time, which I was racing. But I don't think you leave the top open. You don't ever leave the top open. Make them make a move to go below you. And if they go below you, you can pinch them or you can do different things. I feel like you have more control at times when you are the guy on the outside. So he left it open. Reddick saw the opening. He blew it past him around the outside. And as you said earlier, I am shocked that thing didn't plug the fence. How the hell did that thing grip and go? I have no idea.
That's what Ryan said in his post-race interview. Got out. He's like, I feel like I cooked it down in there pretty far, and Reddick went even further and it stuck. So, and Ryan just had passed Denny and worked the bottom to do that. So I haven't talked to him, but I'd be interested to know if he felt like he could carry enough speed running the same line that he used to pass Denny to keep Reddick back. But Reddick also just throws caution to the wind and is willing to send it. So I'm still very high on the 12. I think that he's going to get it done at Martinsville and he'll be fine. But definitely a blow because he could have just finish it off. And the other thing is, Reddick has been known to send it and not worry about making the side job work. We saw that at Darlington. He ran it into Chris Buescher. They both didn't finish. Someone else won.
So you think if the 12 takes the top, he blows it in on the bottom, and
then you're definitely cooked.
And they're wrecking?
Four tires.
And Denny's winning?
Yeah, 8 tires are better than 4 on that.
Yeah, all right. Okay, I don't know. That's.
He got yelled at for that one.
He did, but now he's going for a championship, it's a little different.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We got what we got.
A little bit of a scary move on Halloween. This is scary as well. Maybe a nightmare for some people. I don't know if you guys saw this. The spotter stands this past weekend.
Big speed problem
Look
up
at
here,
this.
man. Just don't get stung. With the way they're swarming, that's like telling a fish not to get wet, man. It's bad up here. I might have to move.
This is insane. I talked to TJ Majors. I texted with him. He said no one got stung, which is a good thing, because what if someone was allergic? My goodness. He said they just had to move. Did you ever, how many, have you spotted in your career?
I haven't spotted, but those bees, there were enough of them that they worked their way down. Now, luckily, it was some glass in front of the TV booth, but we could see them.
You saw them?
Oh, yeah. And we could see them, and I I rarely will ever say this. I felt bad for the spotter. In that one instance right there.
That's crazy, man. I've seen like wasps and stuff like, or not wasps, but like moths, you know, with the night races and stuff.
Huge bugs that like the lights.
Yeah, and I've seen that before, but never bees.
And they kept spotting because I was going through all the radios.
What else are they gonna do?
I don't know, man. I'd have been like, Kyle, you're on your own for a few laps.
Granted, there were probably a few seats they could have taken in the grandstands. But
On that note, up next, the 2021 champ is in the house. Kyle Larson heads to Martinsville, 7 below the cut. How is he feeling about advancing? Well, we're going to ask him that. Quite the buzz.
Larson up top.
That's an ass kicking. Domination, boys.
We on the sound. We on the lockstep and we riding. Whole team grinding.
Coming to the line.
Yeah.
We won.
Great race, Larson.
Oh, yeah. Good job, guys.
That was all Kyle Larson.
Brickyard 400, baby. Hell yeah.
Proud of you, 5 team. Kyle Larson absolutely dominates this race. It's Larson.
That was fun.
It kind of seems like Kyle Larson has done more in one season than some do in their entire career. 6 wins, Brickyard Bristol on that list, a start in the Indy 500, and now another chance at a championship. Of course, here on Inside the Playoffs, and dressing like Steve Letarte because they have the same shoes on today. What are we doing?
He's got the nicer version.
The nicer version.
Yeah.
How much fun have you had this year?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Got to do a lot of cool things, win races, Indy 500. Getting to do that was cool, and just being competitive and kind of all the cars I was racing this year has been fun. So just a couple more races left. Hopefully we can cap it off in a good way.
So sometimes you make my job really difficult in the TV booth because you're out there dominating. Sometimes you make it super exciting. What's like the DNA of the 5 team? 6 wins is an impressive year. When you are good, it seems like you guys are like knockout, lights out good, leading the races. Do you know that? Like in practice, do you say, man, I have a feeling? Or do you kind of get in the races and figure it out?
I don't know. There's some weeks, where you expect to, after practice, like, man, I'm going to have a really good car. And sometimes those races don't play out that way, where you don't even lead a lap. And then there's times, like the Roval, I did not expect to be that good, and we were great. So, yeah, it's just, it's odd. Stock car racing's odd, but I'm confident that our team's going to be competitive at pretty much every racetrack. So whether that means leaving 462 laps or what, I don't ever know.
That was fun, right?
Yeah, I loved that.
For him,
Yeah, exactly.
should have been where I was trying to call it.
Yeah.
I talked to Caitlin after the Roval, and she told me that she told you that she thought Denny was going to win that race. Did that kind of like get you a little bit?
I listened to that. I don't even remember her telling me that, but
Well, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
yeah,
Kyle.
I'm sure she did. I just
selective listening.
I would say I do a bad job of listening, so I'm sure she did tell me that.
Oh, man.
So when you look at the upcoming, or when you look up at the upcoming weekend, obviously what happened in Miami was not what you guys wanted. You got the finish 13th, but I know that you guys wanted to be in a better situation going into Martinsville. How do you feel about the way that this race went down?
Yeah, it's just been a challenging round of 8, really challenging playoffs. I know we've won a couple times, but aside from the wins, it's been very challenging. We've had to overcome a lot of adversity. So, but in the round of 8, we've had 2 back-to-back races where we've had to overcome something. So that just makes it really tough. We haven't gotten any stage points, and you really need that when you get down to this point of the season. So, yeah, we find ourselves below the cut line, but I'm confident again in our team that we can do it and have a solid day at Martinsville. I feel way more confident going to Martinsville than I had, 4 or 5 years ago. So we'll see. It's been a good track for us where we've qualified well and have done good in the stages and finished well in the race. So we've gotten a win there now. So would love to be solid again all day long.
So leading up to that moment that you had at Homestead with the 12 and the 3, were you thinking anything of like points, or were you strictly like, I want to win? What was your mindset there?
Yeah, a little bit of all that, right? Like,
Did you know where you were in points before?
No, right. But I knew it was close because I didn't get any stage points. William had, so I knew that point gap was going to be really tight. And then the bottom 4 guys were all the top 4 all day long. So it's like, man, I need to, try and win this. Going to Martinsville, I don't want to.
Right.
I'm more confident winning at Homestead than I am at Martinsville, so wanted to try and do it there. But Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really I don't look back at it and be like, man, I wish I wouldn't have gone for that. And then, maybe I'd be -2 or something right now, or +2, whatever it might be. I think I can live with myself going for it and it not working out. And yeah, so it was unfortunate, but I was still proud of the adversity that we overcame to get to that point. I mean, you were around me.
I passed you
on old tires.
He was bragging earlier. He goes, I passed Larson in Miami, and nobody called it out. He was all excited.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and then 3 runs later, he's going for the win. I'm like, what the hell happened? How does he do that?
Hey, but I want to get you guys' opinion on that move. Other sports, we see athletes kind of look at tape, whether it's offense, defense, whatever. First of all, I thought the move was the move that was needed, and there was room there. It doesn't work. So for both you guys that have won so many races, when it doesn't work, do you go back and rewatch to just think, hey, could I have done something different? Was I too close to the 12, too close to the 3? Because with this car, it seems like the air is perhaps as important as where you put the car.
So that was a question that I was going to have for Kyle, where that move with the old car, I feel like that's a move you make. You make it all day long because you feel like you can drive out of it a little bit. This one here, I feel like if you overstep the bounds of this thing, you're wrecked.
Right.
You know what I mean? So do you agree?
Yeah, and there's just weird aero kind of spots where I got myself in a terrible spot, aero-wise. But yeah, I mean, I could see the hole, and I just thought, the 3 had lifted early enough that I could just at least squeeze through there and still be outside the 12. And who knows, we probably all would have plugged the fence, maybe. But if not, I could have stayed outside of him off of 4. It's over, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's why I can live with it. Obviously, looking back now that it didn't work, I'm like, okay, yeah, I could have maybe.
That's unfair, though. After you know the results.
After you know the result,
right.
It's easy to look back. Okay, maybe I run the bottom in 3 and 4, and I exit, who knows, next to him, and I drag him back. You just don't know. But I felt like I was making the move that was going to be the quickest way to get the lead and drive off. So. It just didn't work out. I gambled, and it didn't pay off.
Yeah, sometimes it works, and sometimes it don't.
Yeah, and not to tip your hat to another playoff competitor, but how about the Reddick move? Have you got to see that? That was an impressive
move. How about this
around
move?
the top.
How about this move?
Don't mind me,
What are you
guys.
doing?
Yeah, he's going to make a hot dog. What would you like, a hot dog, Kyle? We've got the Jesse Jones hot dog. Yeah, okay. Listen, we're going to talk about that move. We're also going to talk about moving forward to Martinsville and your chances there. And we're going to talk about hot dogs. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and this might not have been the thing to do. We'll be right back. Well, Kyle Larson has started from the pole position 4 times at Martinsville, and in 2023, he finished the race first as well. It was his first win at the track, leading 30 laps while doing it. Taking home that grandfather clock, celebrating with the kiddos right there. Take a look. Oh, look at all the confetti. All right, this is what Martinsville looks like for Kyle Larson. 1 win, as we just showed you, 5 top 5s. 7 top 10s. I said 4 poles. I guess I was wrong. I must have been looking at the wrong line.
Some weather poles.
Well, hey, listen, I just gave you 2 extra. Racing Resources was wrong on that one. Okay, but when you do look at Martinsville for you, it feels like it's like the best of times, the worst of times. It's kind of like this. How do you feel about the track right now in 2024?
Honestly, I feel good about it. At Hendrick, I would say Vegas is probably our best average track. And surprisingly, Martinsville, I would think, would be number 2. The stat guys could verify that. But yeah, I think our average finishes really well there at Martinsville since joining Hendrick. So I do feel good about it. It's not like a track, though, where I go lead a bunch of laps. I'm not that confident there, but we finished well. So I would love to go there and have a Bristol-style day, but that's tough. Martinsville is a very, very tough track for me. I still think my car is better than I typically am there. It's just a hard place for me to get into a rhythm, and just figuring out the timing of slowing down is very tough.
You have something that you wanted to ask him about learning Martinsville, right?
No, well, no, this is about the wall, riding the wall.
The wall, okay.
Yeah, so no,
there's none of that.
Yeah, no, there's no that there. No Hail Melons. Do you remember, with you guys both being here, do you remember when we did the NASCAR Next Reunion show, and you were sitting down after a couple cervezas, you were telling us about
Were you guys drinking? Where we have hot dogs, we have no cervezas
Yeah, no,
here?
it was a good time. It was a good time. But you were telling us about how this guy taught you how to run the top at Homestead.
At Homestead.
And that he told you mid-race to get up around the top. I asked him. He said he remembered
Which finger was it?
It wasn't the middle finger. I don't think. Maybe it was.
Tell us that story.
I don't really know why I would have gotten the middle finger.
Oh my God! Did you see how young you were? My goodness.
Yeah, I just watched this the other day too. I was like, man, I want to go back and see this.
So what exactly happened? Tell us the story.
I feel like I remember at one point leading the race earlier on, and you know, he was just toying with us like he toys with the little kids at Milbridge.
Oh my God. Yes.
I thought I was running the top. The top wasn't really like the top how it is now. Back then, but I was still kind of like cheating it and sliding up to the center, and he passed me, and he's got these long arms. He's just sticking his hand way out, and I'm like, all right, I guess I got to enter higher or something here. And I think I ran him back down, I don't know, 10, 15 laps later and passed him, and then ended up wiping the field out later on. But
good job there, Kyle.
Maybe
that was your.
I created a monster. That's what I did do. Yeah.
Is Martinsville like that? I know not the wall though, but I've heard stories about people like following a guy like Jimmy or following someone that's really good at Martinsville and watching their line and figuring out how to race at. Is Martinsville a track that you can do that at?
Yeah, myself and Denny, right? So Denny being one of the short track masters for a long, long time, and especially at Martinsville, he was always so good there that we relied on a lot of each other to be able to help one another get better at different tracks. Denny did not like Charlotte. He absolutely dreaded going to Charlotte, hates Dover. And so I was like, I need a little help at Martinsville, you know? So like we kind of traded notes and just the driving styles. And back in that day too, there was a lot more testing going on, which now you have SMT, you've got data, all that stuff. So you could always pick it out and ask questions. So we were able to rely on each other quite a bit in that era of being able to do that stuff.
Like
so
iron sharpens iron.
True.
You know what I mean? I feel like you guys did that a lot, especially when you first hit the scene and you were so fast. And Kyle, you were dominating races. I feel like a lot of the things that made you better early was running with Kyle so much.
Absolutely. I've ran second to you more than anybody in my career, whether it be, I guess, probably trucks, Xfinity, especially Xfinity, but even Cup. So, yeah, I think it's like over 10 times I feel like I finished second to you. It's great.
Yeah, it's great, too, because you guys have such great battles.
Yeah, I've learned a lot racing behind him and battling him and all that. It's fun.
The Bristol quote is still the best.
What was that?
What did
he won Bristol this year.
Oh yeah, they were like, what do you
all
credit?
the laps.
They were like, what do you credit your success to? And God, I hope we don't get either of us in trouble saying it again. But I was like, I credit my success to Kyle Busch not being at Joe Gibbs Racing.
That's awesome.
Wasn't this one at Chicago with the two?
That was Chicago.
Well?
Yeah, that was a great race.
That was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, you guys have raced great together. All right, let's play a little trivia, why don't we? Since we have two Kyles, let's do Kyle versus Kyle. So let's get our little props. So we'll show you here. This is really funny. So if it's Kyle Larson, you hold up that. And if it's Kyle Busch, well, then it's Kyle Busch. All right, this is so good. Thank you, producer Kelly Hamilton. All right, so this Kyle won the pole in his second start in the 5-car.
Oh.
Oh, boy. Are we right? What do we think? This is Kyle Busch.
There was no qualifying.
Okay.
Montana.
There was no qualifying in 2021, so.
This Kyle won Rookie of the Year in both the Xfinity and Cup Series.
Oh.
Did we get it right? Did we get it right? Both.
Oh, that is completely unfair.
We'll put up both.
But I only. Okay.
There's a lot of drivers out there that are two-faced.
Right.
You can be too.
This Kyle attended his first race at 1 week old.
I don't know.
It's Kyle Larson. You don't remember this, Kyle?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I think I was.
There's no way that I should be tied with you guys right now.
Change that
but we're all even.
Wikipedia. This Kyle has appeared in a major feature film. Both. What movie were you in?
Oh, yeah. I thought I was holding my Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky.
He didn't know which one he was holding.
It was just my eyes.
That's-
Were you both in it?
That's why I said both.
Oh.
We're both in it.
Yeah, I was like the closing scene where I'm like in the limo or taxi, and I think the guy just gets out of jail. I'm like, where to, Mr. Naaman?
Carl Edwards and I were the highway patrol guy that pulled him over.
So good. So
I
good.
never watched that movie.
This Kyle's mother hoped he would be a dentist when he grew up.
Did your mom say that?
I don't think.
Kyle Busch.
I was waiting.
That was a good poker
I was waiting
face there.
I was waiting for a little bit of help.
This is a fun game.
Yeah.
This Kyle's favorite food is lettuce.
Oh.
Your favorite? Is that a food?
It's not a favorite food. It's like a favorite
snack.
He likes salads.
I love salads and like lettuce on tacos, burgers. You know, lots of lettuce. Actually.
Lettuce wraps.
Yeah, in and out.
Lettuce
wrap.
No, in and out. No, absolutely not.
Boiled lettuce.
Protein style, all the way?
Lettuce.
The most overrated burger of all time.
All right. This
That's for
Kyle.
after the show.
This Kyle drives with 2 feet inside of his streetcar.
Probably both of us.
Both. All right. I think this is the last one. This Kyle is a better overall driver than Max Verstappen. I didn't put these together.
Give me both of them. Give me both of them.
I did not put these together.
Wait, so you think that? You think you're a better overall driver than Max Verstappen?
I mean, once upon a time, maybe not now. I don't know, but yeah, let's go.
Max Verstappen's not winning Milbridge races.
Put him in Milbridge, boy. Come on.
Yeah, you know what both of these Kyles do really well, though, is celebrate with their kids. Take a look at this. So this was incredible. Brexton just used to get the air on that.
You're not scared of dropping
Samantha, this would be Joey celebrating with the kid. And then Kevin Harvick, that was Michigan. How cute. Listen, were you holding his leg?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was like, please. I love it.
It's a good time.
I love it. Yeah, she's like, let me get in on the act. That was pretty sweet. Was that the first time that you were able to do that with her?
With just her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That was a solo weekend with
What'd
her.
she say to you after that? Like, how is...
She's just like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, she's like, I'll do it one day.
She's going to be a little tomboy.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah, she is a tomboy.
All right.
Do you still throw Brexton?
I cannot throw Brexton anymore.
Yeah,
no.
I was gonna say he's getting to be.
Something tells me she might not let you.
Like as big as I am.
Well, that's not saying much for you.
So I asked Kyle if he had any spare seats because I'm going to need them for Brexton here soon.
He was sitting in front of me last night, and I was looking at his shoes. I'm like, we 100% wear the same size shoe.
Let's take a look at a pep talk that you gave your son Brexton just recently. Listen to this, guys.
There were times in my championship race back in 2018 when we were getting beat. You know, if you lose your focus and you don't do your job, then you don't do your best. All I want is your best. Win, lose, or draw, you're my homie.
What am I doing with my life? Like, that is not how I'm talking to my children, and I certainly wasn't talking
He wouldn't even let me
like
get
that.
Brexton candy the other night.
That's amazing. This is amazing. How does he, how did he do?
He did really well. Unfortunately, that was our championship race that we were going in, and all 3 drivers were tied going into the race. So literally, it was Phoenix with NASCAR. Whoever finished in front of who won. So one of the competitors started second. We started 7th. The other one started 6th. Brexton went 7-2, but the kid that started second ended up winning the race. So we were too loose. I made too much adjustment to the car, and we were too loose, so I didn't give him a good enough piece to get there.
Do you give speeches like that?
Not quite yet. No. Owen, he did win last night, but he's not in contention quite as often as Brexton, so we're just trying to still get him to open his entries and all that. But I'm not good at coaching or talking or motivating, so.
You haven't learned anything from Cliff?
Yeah, no kidding.
Around him for like 5 years.
Cliff, but no, I'm not. I just can't do that. I can't take myself serious trying to talk like that. But
What's it like for you guys? I mean, not only are you teaching your kids, but the next generation of racers, do you look at it like, man, I see this kid, I want to help this kid, or you know what I mean? Because that it's hard, because sometimes you get that and sometimes you don't.
Well, I wish there was more that we can do with other kids that are out there. There's other competitors that we race against that are really good. The kids are actually doing a great job. They've got really good racecraft. In our sport, it takes money to be able to go to the top, you know? And it's like, man, I wish there was more that I could do to help others be able to make it and have more success, or to be able to make it up the ladder.
Here's a question. Which Kyle is the 2024 Milbridge feature winner?
Champion.
This is the champion.
Yeah.
Take a look at this.
Well, this isn't the championship trophy. This is the race winner's trophy from last night, all right?
Hey, do I get any credit, though? I subbed for you.
No, they took those points away.
Oh, really?
They didn't let them
Drove
sub.
my butt off, too, for it.
You guys both raced last night.
No. I ran a few weeks ago, and I was terrible in the wing class, which he's really good in.
Kyle only wanted to race against me. Yeah. I blew up that night, so I needed a fill-in driver. So I asked Kyle if he could fill in.
So we slapped on a 51 on our wing, and I tagged the back, which I was already starting the back of the feature anyways. But drove my butt off all the way to third. And the whole time I'm going from all right, I can't
don't
crash. I'm like, I can't, because I know how serious Kyle takes this. I don't want to ruin his shot of the championship at Milbridge. But I guess they didn't give it to you.
You got any championships at Milbridge?
No, I've never ran for points there.
There you go. All right. Well, good luck going for a championship this season.
Yeah, get the big one.
Good luck in Martinsville. We're going to discuss what drivers would do to win at Martinsville. Thanks for being here.
Yep.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back. All right, so the guys that are currently in the round of 8 are pretty good at Martinsville. Take a look at this. Kyle Larson, 4 straight finishes, 6th or better. Won 2 of the last 5 races for William Byron. We could do an entire just trivia based on this right here. Denny Hamlin, 5 career wins there. Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott. Everyone's just really, really good. So at some point, each and every one of these guys could win, right? Each of these guys could get a victory. It's going to be just like Miami Homestead. All guys up front competing for this victory.
And the beauty of Martinsville with the size of the racetrack is it's going to be like elbows out, full contact. I mean, and I think that's the big difference between, at Homestead, Miami, it's about speed, overall speed, running the wall, all these different things. When you then take the same number of cars and smash it into a half mile, there's just not enough room for everyone to run the laps that they want. So we're going to see a whole lot more full contact. But what I like about this weekend is it is a different Martinsville than we've seen in years past. But it starts with qualifying. Like, you have to qualify well, you have to get a good pit pick, you have to get good restarts, good pit stops. It really takes everything at this style of Martinsville racing to be good.
I mean, it's execution, right? We talk about it all the time. Don't beat yourself. So a lot of these guys, even if they do qualify 20th, it's going to be like, okay, make it up, but make it up in a fashion in which you're not going to put yourself in a bad spot, too. So for me, I look at those stats and I look at all those guys that are so good there, and I mean, it's hard. Throw them up, toss them up.
Really?
You can take one of the guys that's running 18th, if they're running 18th, and move them up to 4th, and they're going to run 4th. You know what I mean? So it's like, just how are they all going to get there?
So you're not done. Like, if you qualify poorly, it's not like, all right.
It's not over,
okay.
but I mean, honestly, like when we were there in the spring, I think I followed the same car for 60 laps in a row because it's just hard to pass. Everybody's so equal, and here we go. Like we're riding around with me from the spring race there. I'm following Denny Hamlin. There you go. Hey, was I running up front?
That's pretty far to the front.
Yeah. But I mean, the track, like, you got to get into the rhythm. Larson talked about how he can't really find that rhythm at Martinsville, but Martinsville is a rhythm track. And the crazy part about Martinsville, too, when you look at the data, the driver data, you're off the throttle, rolling or part throttle longer around the lap than you are wide open throttle. Yeah. So it is all about figuring out how to go the fastest slowly?
Yeah.
How do I say that? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, that feels
go
about
slow
right.
to go fast.
Yeah.
You got to go fast, slow. I don't know. But like, you're off the gas, on the brakes, or doing something more than just being wide open throttle for more of the lap there.
Yeah.
That's when I finally started to figure out Martinsville. It wasn't just getting on the gas. How soon can I get on the gas? It was like, okay, how can I roll the best speed off throttle?
Yeah. This place, and also, so like we just saw it at Homestead. The top 8 guys were basically all right there. Larson was like 13th, but he was in the mix. So they're going to be all over each other at Martinsville, and then we're going to see frustration start to creep in because there's going to be guys that like, I'm racing this guy, I gotta go, and you're holding me up.
I'm so glad you used that word frustration, because that's the first word that comes to mind when I think of Martinsville, because we've had so many great moments at Martinsville, quote unquote great moments, right? 2015, this was a good one. We got Kenseth and Logano. I mean, this one went on for a while.
Yeah, this started at Kansas. This was payback from Kenseth to Logano of a wreck earlier in the playoffs. This actually got Kenseth a few weeks off with suspension.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 2017, or this
15.
is 2015, still 2015.
With Jeff.
Yeah, there you go.
This one, so this was going to be Chase's first win, and in the 24, and Denny completely took it away from him, and Chase didn't even fight him after.
And then after that, I was like, oh, okay, Denny, you just ran over Chase. I'm going to bump you a little bit out of the way.
There we go.
They confronted each other. Yeah, people don't like that when you do the most popular
This is the one
driver.
I remember, because this is the style of moving I think we're going to see now, right? Logano just pushes Truex up out of the way. Truex has nowhere to go. They slip and slide to the line. I think that's more what we could expect for a moment near the finish of this year's.
Joey considers that his championship car because he says that is what won him the championship.
That's why you don't want Joey Logano in the Final Four.
Well, he
because
is.
of that.
He is in the Final Four.
Oh, and
this one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And listen to this.
I mean, he would probably say, short track racing.
It never gets old. It doesn't.
Oh, but this move.
It doesn't.
The Hail Melon that we'll never see again legally.
legally.
It doesn't get old, does it?
What is the penalty for that? Last on the lead lap?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Too far back.
You've got to repeat what Denny just said 40 times.
That one though, that move that he pulled off, and then the pass. Like I was watching it in the grandstands. Everyone's watching C-Bell win the race, and I'm going, no. I'm like, oh, you kidding him? Everyone's like, what are you doing? Because they didn't see it.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Is something like that? Can we? I mean, not obviously the Hail Melon because we can't do this anymore. NASCAR has deemed this illegal. But moves like we just saw, Steve?
So this race is, you know, Kyle talked about it. You have to be very, very patient. There's a lot of things you can try to do, but this entire race, 500 laps, is going to come down to 1 or 2 moments. And I really think that's what's going to determine who advances. Now, that could be a green, white checker coming to the line, which is statistically probably where it would happen, but it could be the start of stage 2. It could be the middle of a restart. Like, you just don't know. That's why I love this track so much, because to your point about being patient, you have to stay patient, but you never know when the pass for the win is going to happen, right? If I think Kyle's better than me and I wave him by, I may never see Kyle again.
Yeah.
That could be the whole race.
Yeah. If there's a caution within 40 to go.
Oh, there's going to be 10 of them.
So, Kyle.
I mean, it's just going to be wreck after wreck after wreck.
How many times are we going to see the points change?
Oh, yeah.
If there's a caution with 40 to go.
So last time you were on, we were all having the conversation about Austin Dillon, right, and the move that he made. Is like all bets off at this point? Like, or are there still lines that you don't cross?
You better not do it twice.
Yeah.
One's enough. Twice might be too many.
So as an analyst,
making a move.
Well, so I look at it the same way as an analyst, right? So if Kyle goes in there racing with Denny Hamlin, hits him in the rear bumper, he either goes up or even spins out. I feel that's short track racing we've seen forever in NASCAR.
You got to say it like that.
No, I don't dare. But then after he moves Denny up, if he slides up and another guy goes by him and he hooks him as well, now it's too much. And I think, I know we talk about that, what is the line, what is the line? I don't think it has to be written in black and white. I think that one failed the eye test, right? It was 2 cars in one set of corners. I hate it for Austin Dillon because I thought he was good enough to win that race.
He was good.
With a better restart. But
you know what we're probably going to end up seeing is exactly what Denny Hamlin did to Chase Elliott a few years back.
Or Joey to Martin, right?
I don't know that they'll spin, though.
You're right. We don't know.
Just because the car has more grip.
But it depends on how they get in there, and I think they'll send it. If it's between me and you and a chance of the championship, see ya.
Here's what I know. With the time change, we're going to be basically at sunset. The lights up there have made the place electric. The place will be sold out, and they may be the most educated race fans because they pipe those interviews onto the PA, and you get all the crowd reaction. It's going to be a great moment.
People ask me what my favorite racetracks are, Talladega and Martinsville, and I know they're so drastically different. I know, but I love Martinsville.
She doesn't like anything in between. She
just
like top
Talladega,
and bottom.
Martinsville.
Carnage.
Yeah.
We'll be right
Homestead,
back.
top, bottom.
So as we've already told you, 2 drivers have locked themselves into the championship 4. That would be this guy right here, Joey Logano, a 2-time champion with his win in Vegas. And then 1 week ago, Sunday, I should say, not 1 week ago, but 1 week from this week, Tyler Reddick getting the win in Miami, celebrating with Michael Jordan. So take a look. Here are the standings. Both Logano and Reddick, they don't have to worry about tires or aggressive driving or a bump and run or any of that stuff this weekend in Martinsville because they are already locked in. Not the same for other guys in the round of 8. 6 guys who are looking to make the move. Let's take our hot laps, and we'll start with you, Mamba. Hendrick Motorsports will contend for a title. Right now, we obviously do not have a Hendrick Motorsports driver locked in.
I think they will. I'm not betting against Kyle Larson because he's incredible, but I am betting on William Byron to make it in for Team Hendrick.
Okay, what do you think?
You asking me?
Yes,
now?
you. You're up.
Would you think you're going to skip the question?
I didn't know if it was coming around.
No, you.
Yes,
I got this right.
I will agree. I'm Team Rudy, Team Williams.
Okay.
So, I love Kyle and Cliff, but I think advantages to those that are in already right now. So come get me.
I like that.
Yeah.
Top 4 advance, and I agree, Byron.
Okay, you're up first here, Kyle. 2 drivers will point their way into the championship. So 4 have to get in, 2 are already in. So 2 point, that means we get a winner from out.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just said it.
He's like, yeah.
He just said it. The top 4 is the top 4. So I agree with William already being there and Adam Stevens, Christopher Bell.
Okay, so if we got a surprise winner from outside the...
Yeah, right.
There we go. There we go. That's what we were looking for. That's what we were looking for. What do you think?
I think that the top 4 get through, but it wouldn't shock me if Byron won or Bell won. So I guess that's an asterisk on that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
You gotta be specific.
I've got a lot of asterisks. No more asterisks.
Look, man, I got the 12 as the championship, and so we're going with Ryan's going to win, so knock somebody out.
All right.
I've been working out this week. Elbows up.
Go get him, bud.
He's been lifted up that Milbridge trophy. Hamlin will contend for a title.
I don't believe so. Like I said, I think the 4 above have done it. I think last week's was the 11's chance. He had it and couldn't close it out. His numbers at Martinsville are amazing. Yeah. But
it's been a long time since he's won there.
Been a long time. 3,500 days, actually, if you want to get specifically.
Something like that. Yeah.
3,500 days.
Pretty good stat.
Unless the tire completely changes the way it races, I just don't see it.
What do you think?
I saw the dog in him last week, but it might be too little, too late. You know what I mean? He's great here, but I don't think they got enough right now to get there.
I don't want to count them out, but I've already said my piece where I believe those that are in, so come get me.
There's only a few tough things about TV, but one is you can't change a story because they can go back on the tape.
You got to stay
stick it with your story. You got to stick with it.
I hear you.
Stick with your story.
That's right.
Okay, so we have in front of us the Jesse Jones hot dogs. So if you've never been to Martinsville, these are the hot dogs that they sell in Martinsville. So I did some research.
Okay.
Put that in your research hat. They're almost 100 years old. Not these specific ones.
Oh, good.
But since 1920, they kind of look like it. Since 1926, they've been making these. Over 50,000 are sold on race weekends. Can you believe that? It's 50,000.
Oh, they should ask Kyle Larson how many Martinsville hot dogs it takes to win at Martinsville.
It's great.
And the reason that they're dyed red is to distinguish them as a genuine Southern delicacy and to stand out amongst the competition. See, we should all just dye ourselves red. Yeah, let's do it. So what are you
put on? Oh, I'm simple.
I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah, I've never had one of these before. Ever. Not once.
You got to get it.
Also,
Oh, boy. I feel like I'm going to have to send something to the
This
laundry
ain't going to
when
work.
he's done.
Come on.
It is not working. Also, this is my second dog of the day.
How many do you normally eat on a weekend, Kyle?
The number is between 0 and 0.
What about you, Steve? Do you?
What do you mean?
So the trick is I get a couple to go for the ride home after the race. That way I make sure everything's fine for the weekend.
Yeah, the wife's not in the car.
Listen, I'm too high amped up when I'm at the racetrack doing driver intros. Yeah. I can't eat a hot dog.
Yeah, so the camera guys would have a list running, and I've seen guys, like, they've had 50, 60, 70 on a weekend. It's delicious Jesse Jones hot dog. Thanks for being back.
Absolutely. You loaded that thing up and then didn't even touch it. You just passed it off.
Have fun this weekend. Have fun.
Give yourself a fun.
Happy Halloween.